Welcome to DBL. Okay, so today we thought that we would talk about the truth behind the tabloids. We've all seen the salacious National Enquirer headlines at the grocery store, like Scientology's Doomsday, or ones like William and Kate in divorce talks. But in testimony yesterday, we talked about it on the show, during Trump's criminal trial, the former National Enquirer boss, David Pecker, pulled back the curtain and revealed some shocking truths about how these tabloids operate. He says they pick stories based on their own political ideology, choosing positive stories for candidates they back and negative stories about their opponents. They completely make up stories, like the one about Ted Cruz's father and Lee Harvey Oswald, which David testified was all based on a fake photo. They pick stories based on what they think people are interested in hearing, even if they have no basis in reality. Also, that they pay people for their stories, even if the stories are based on rumors alone. So, what do you think about these truths, and why do you think that these tabloids are still popular, even if people may know that they are filled with lies, Erica?
Because people want to be entertained the way that they want to be entertained. I mean, right now, you think about reality TV and how popular it is. There is a major suspension of reality in order to get the storyline, and people know that going in. I really feel like tabloids were kind of the original reality, because even if you believe it or you don't believe it, there's like this hope that there's a semblance of truth in there. Also, we used to call in like 20 years ago when I was on radio in Chicago. So basically,
you would call into like National Enquirer and say what?
So my co-host would always say, listen, if you believe that these tabloids are real, let me tell you something. And then we would
Was Roosevelt calling?
Listen.
No, it's Jobo. So then we would call to one of the tabloids and come up with some crazy story. And the way that they were like, okay, so tell us more. And where were you during, like, they really make you feel like, I started to believe, like, is this true? Like, because they made you feel like it was true. Like, give us more. Like, okay. So, yeah, we never got a story in the tabloid, but that was a segment we did.
Come on, you could have done it. Just so you know, little facts before we, if you didn't know, it started in 1919. So more than 100 years ago, the New York, what was it? The New York Daily News was the first tabloid. So this is a long time coming. And we've seen it in the 90s really blossom because there was no social media. So like the Bill Clinton, Amy Fisher, Princess Di, remember all of that? Julia Roberts, Lisa Left Eye, Mike Tyson,
I remember all
of these.
those.
Hugh Grant, I totally remember that one. But people, it says this is journalism, so anybody is welcome to sue for libel. And famously, 3 people did. I'm sure at home a lot of you are recognizing this. Carol Burnett in 1981, she sued, who I love, and she won because they said she was drunk outside at a restaurant with Henry Kissinger, and she's like, no, I wasn't, and she kissed them but goodbye. Katie Holmes versus Star Magazine, they suggested she was a drug addict. She sued. And then Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie sued the News of the World in 2010, suggesting they were going to split. They then did split. But really, if you want to, like Tom Cruise, and spend your money and energy, you sue, because that's how they stop you. But otherwise, they just keep going. And
they can just say whatever they want. In fact, weren't you in Jordan in a tabloid?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Did you know?
No, I didn't know. Yeah, this was after we were on Big Brother. So people, a lot of these stories have truth in them, but then they just sensationalize it, right? Because people, they want to be in the know. I think that's what sell these magazines. They kind of want, if you're in a small city across the USA, you're like, Mom, I want a little piece of Hollywood, right? Who doesn't? My mom used to love, I used to remember, she'd put it right behind our cookie jar. I forgot what it said, but it was beige with like a little wood top. And she'd put her Enquirer behind there, you know, with the crossword puzzles. I'm going on here. But we ended up in the tabloids after Big Brother. This is a shot that we did for Amazing Race. I've showed this before, and it said a source told Jordan that she doesn't know if it's going to work out because of my gray hair. And I had, again, I did have some gray hair, not enough that they needed a second source. Horrible. It was just hilarious, but it's funny that the magazine my mom read that I ended up in, you know what I mean? So it's just a little piece of truth. But it's so weird that we kind of know that these stories aren't true, right? But when you think about it, back in the day, or even now, when you're in that line for the grocery store, right? You got this stuff for your kids, right? All the candy, and then you got the tabloids. And imagine now if the tabloids were personalized to exactly what you like. This phone, Everything has an algorithm that is catered to what you are looking at. So if you like democratic stuff that's bashing Republicans, it's going to filter that. Vice versa, it's going to filter that. Celebrity gossip news, it's going to filter that. And there's no avoiding it. We thought it was worse before. It's worse now, and people don't even know how their mind is being manipulated by these phones.
You're
That's
right.
why there needs to be truth or a balance in every single thing that we
And
talk
for things
about.
to be said, like we talked about yesterday, like, you know, when you read a column, you know it's an op-ed. We don't really know what is fake news anymore, what isn't. That's alarming, Tori.
Especially on social media. So it used to be like aliens landed in my backyard, right?
But people would believe it.
Right, but it would be a little bit crazy. This, you really don't know on social media what's true and what's not. That's really scary.
All right, people, we got to have more discernment, right?
Absolutely.